Alrighty, let's tackle our first question. Always mark the keyword. It will help you to arrive at the correct answers quickly and also will help you to understand what the question is exactly looking for. We'll look at option A first. A says deploy your app on GKE and utilize PubSub for event communication. Kubernetes incurs fixed infrastructure cost even when idle. We'll reject this. We'll move to option B. B says set up your app on compute engine virtual machines and integrate PubSub for message processing. Compute engine requires always on resource allocation, leading to cost even when unused. This is out. We'll move to option C. C says deploy your service to GKE cluster and manage event delivery through EventArc. Also, please consider checking out my exclusive management cybersecurity Google Cloud courses on Udemy by searching Cloud Guru Amit, or you can navigate to the URL udemy.com/user/cloudguruamit, where you will find tons of courses which will help you to boost your career by understanding the requirements of your manager, their thought processes, and how a project works in an IT world. Kubernetes adds unnecessary complexity and cost compared to fully managed serverless solution. Let's delete this. We'll move to option D. D says run your app on Cloud Run while leveraging EventArc for efficient event handling. Cloud Run is a serverless with zero cost when idle, and EventArc enables seamless event-driven processing in Google Cloud. This looks good. We'll lock option D as the right answer. Okay, let's look at a question about Google Kubernetes engine and security best practices as per Google. We'll look at option A. It says define a custom access role that merges permissions from the two relevant predefined IAM roles. Merging full predefined roles may grant excessive permissions, violating the principle of least privilege. Let's delete it. We'll move to option B. B says assign the team the two predefined IAM roles as provided by Google Cloud. Assigning predefined roles without filtering permissions increases security risk. So this is out. We'll move to C. C says design a custom role that includes only the necessary permission from the predefined IAM role. Following the principle of least privilege and best practices, it is advisable to create a custom IAM role which grants only the necessary permissions, which avoids unnecessary access risk. Let's move to option D. D says grant the team the Google Cloud team the Cloud Kubernetes admin and database admin roles directly. Full admin role over provisions access, if we look here, which is against the security best practices. So this is out. We'll lock option C as the right answer. Alright, now let's tackle a question which is about projects surpassing monthly spend threshold. Let's look at first option A. Option E says stabilize a single budget for all projects and configure budget alerts on this budget. This option aggregates expenses, making it impossible to track individual spending per developer. Wrong choice. We'll move to B. B says assign a separate billing account per sandbox project and enable BigQuery billing exports. Create a data studio dashboard to plot the spending per billing account. While exporting billing data for visualization helps analyze trends, it doesn't provide real-time alerts for spending control. Let's delete this. We'll move to C. C says configure a budget per project and configure budget alerts on all of these budgets. Defining individual budgets per project allows granular cost tracking and ensures alerts trigger when any single developer exceeds $500 per month. Let's keep this. We'll move to D. D says designate a single billing account for all sandbox projects and enable BigQuery billing exports. Create a data studio dashboard to plot the spending per project. A consolidated billing account lacks detailed per project spending alerts, making it harder to detect excessive spending by individual developers. Let's delete this. We'll lock option C as the right answer. Let's bring the heat to the snow. We got an interesting question where the team needs to retain logs efficiently and query them using SQL syntax. Let's look at option A. It says stream your app logs into BigQuery using custom script for exploration. Using a custom script to push logs to Athena or BigQuery adds unnecessary complexity and manual effort for ingestion. That's incorrect. We'll move to B. B says collect your app logs to cloud logging by using Ops Agent and explore your logs in Logs Explorer. Logs Explorer offers basic visualization and also lacks advanced SQL like querying capabilities. As per the question, we need to query them using SQL syntax, right? So on that note, B is out. We'll move to C. C says forward your application logs to cloud logging by using Ops Agent and explore your logs with Log Analytics. CloudWatch Log Analytics is designed to store, analyze, and visualize logs efficiently. That's what is required by the question as well. Let's keep this. We'll move to D. This is transfer your application logs into Cloud SQL using a custom script for exploration. Cloud SQL is not optimized for log retention or analysis. Querying performance and scalability will also be limited. We'll reject this. We'll lock option C as the right answer. Alrighty, here we go with an interesting question which is all about Google's recommended security best practice. We'll look at first option A. Option A says assign a new service account to the instance every hour and grant the service account the BigQuery data viewer IAM role on the project. Constantly creating new service account every hour is operationally inefficient and unnecessary. As per the question, if you look here, we need long-term solution and operational cost low. So this cannot meet that requirement. We'll move to option B. B says configure a custom service account for the instance and grant the service account the BigQuery data viewer IAM role on the dataset. Using a custom service account attached to the instance ensures that access is scoped specifically to the dataset. Let's keep this. We'll move to C. C says generate a new service account for the instance every hour and grant the service account the BigQuery data viewer IAM role on the dataset. Just like option A, frequent credential rotation is excessive and is not aligned with the Google's recommended best practice. Let's delete this. We'll move to D. D says deploy a custom service account to the instance and grant the service account the BigQuery data viewer IAM role on the project. Granting access at the project level is very broad and which will increase the security risk by allowing access beyond the required dataset. We got to follow the principle of least privilege when it comes to security, cloud security. So D is out. We'll lock option B as the right answer. Okay, here we go with a question which will test your concepts on Google Cloud data flow jobs. Let's look at option A. Option A, if you look, this adds complexity by requiring a secondary data flow job and cloud task instead of direct monitoring solution. We'll delete it. We'll move to B. B says implement cloud monitoring alerts on the data freshness metric for the data flow jobs to receive a notification when a certain threshold is reached. Setting up a cloud monitoring alerts ensures a real-time detection of data flow job delays using automated threshold based notification. Let's keep this. We'll move to C. C says enable error reporting to identify stack traces that indicate slowdowns in data flow jobs. Set up alerts based on these log entries. Error reporting is effective for identifying failures but doesn't proactively detect job delays or stuck processes. Incorrect. We'll move to D. D says leverage the personalized service health dashboard to identify issues with data flow jobs across regions. While this is useful for monitoring Google Cloud service disruption, it doesn't provide detailed metrics on specific data flow job delays. What we are looking as per the question. D is out. We'll lock option B as the right answer. Okay, let's tackle a question related to load balancers, which is networking concept. We'll look at first option A. A says create a symmetric encryption key using Cloud KMS. Symmetric encryption requires shared key management, which is not practical for end-to-end encryption of credentials. We'll reject it. We'll move to option B. B says append a time-based nonce to the credentials, hash the concatenated value. Hashing user credentials doesn't provide encryption. It only prevents plain text transmission but doesn't meet end-to-end encryption requirements as required by the question. We'll reject it. And move to C. C says configure TLS certificates on Google Cloud Global HTTPS Load Balancer. TLS ensures end-to-end encryption during credential transmission, complying with regulatory standards. We'll keep this. We'll move to D. D says generate an asymmetric encryption key with Cloud KMS. Managing client-side encryption or decryption and key distribution adds unnecessary complexity compared to HTTPS-based TLS encryption. Therefore, wrong choice. We'll reject it and lock option C as the right answer. Alrighty, here we go with an interesting question, which is about migrating critical infrastructure to Google Cloud. Let's look at option A. If you look at option A, placing production workloads in standard tier increases network latency, which will affect high-speed transactions. So this we don't want, we'll reject it. We'll move to option B. If you look at option B, premium tier ensures low latency, optimized which will optimize routing for production, while a standard tier keeps development cost low. Let's keep this. We'll move to C. C says use a single VPC network in the premium tier for both production and development workloads. Premium tier for development adds unnecessary cost. We need to reduce the cost as per the question as well, which is the requirement. So this cannot meet this, the cost requirement. Will reject this. We'll move to D. D says use a single VPC network in a standard tier for both production and development workloads. So standard tier doesn't provide optimal latency for real-time trading workloads. So therefore it cannot meet this requirement. On that ground, D is out. We'll lock option B as the right choice. Okay, here we go with a question related to Google Kubernetes engine. Our goal is to follow the best practices, keeping operational cost low. Let's look at option A. Is a set up a standard regional GKE cluster. Regional clusters provide multi-zone replication of control planes and nodes, offering high ability and resilience against zone failures. Let's delete this. We'll move to option B. B says deploy a standard zonal Google cluster engine cluster. Zonal clusters are tied to a single zone, introducing a single point of failure. Again, incorrect. We'll move to option C. C says provision a standard multi-zonal GKE cluster. Multi-zonal cluster replicates nodes, but not the control plane, which still risk downtime if the zone fails. Let's eliminate it. We'll move to D. D says launch an autopilot GKE cluster. Autopilot abstracts infrastructure management, which reduces control, which is unsuitable for if the granular configurations are critical. Let's lock option D as the right choice. Alrighty, this is all about retaining data for 3 years. Our goal is to minimize cost. We'll look at option A. If you look at option A, cold line is a cost-effective solution optimized for long-term storage with infrequent access, making it perfect for archived financial documents. Let's keep this. We'll move to B. B, if you look, uses standard. Standard storage is meant for frequent access, making it a less cost-effective solution for long-term archival. So this is out. Let's move to option C. C says maintain your documents on file store. File store is an expensive file storage solution which is not suitable for structured archival needs. We'll reject it. We'll move to option D. D says maintain your documents on file store. File store is, again, as mentioned previously, is an unnecessary overhead for document storage, and standard storage is inefficient for archival. So on that ground, D is out. We'll lock option E as the right choice. Also, please consider checking out my exclusive management cybersecurity Google Cloud courses on Udemy by searching Cloud Guru Amit, or you can navigate to the URL udemy.com/user/cloudguruamit, where you will find tons of courses which will help you to boost your career by understanding the requirements of your manager, their thought processes, and how a project works in an IT world. So thank you so much for watching this video.